Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Boujee Best Friend Podcast. I'm your host, Coco, Kornelia Slunjski, as I would say in my native Croatian language. I'm so excited that we are number 3 in the World Cup, so I just needed to give a little shout out to my Croatian soccer team. You guys crushed it. I'm so proud of you. I have a really fun episode for you today. I had the pleasure of interviewing Laura Galibi, discovered her through TikTok, and I love her videos. Obviously, I would not have her on if I don't think she can provide value for all of you Boujee besties. We talked about manifesting, confidence, fake friends, insecurities, how to actually step into that version of you that you know you can be and how you can actually achieve that. Before we get into the episode, there is a review that I want to read that made me so happy. It came from Minxie. Okay, it goes like this. I've been following Coco on Instagram for a while, and her stories of her morning walks and morning rituals help motivate me to do the same. I figured, I don't know if it will help change my situation, but I have nothing to lose. She mentioned listening to different podcasts on her walks, so when I started my own morning ritual, I decided to listen to one of her own podcast episodes to check it out. Since then, I've been listening to her episodes on my walks when they're available and if they apply to what I'm looking for that day. And it always leaves me feeling like I learned something new or leaves me inspired to grow a bit more after each listen. Her episodes are timed perfectly for an hour morning walk by the beach, like a coffee jumpstart for your brain. I recommend scrolling through her episodes and pick one you think you'll need. And I'm sure you'll come back to check out her others as well. She curates and brings different people on to share their growth and methods, and I leave each episode in a better mood than I was before. Thanks, Coco, for finding your calling to help us find ours as well. I'm literally crying. I don't know why. I really don't know why I'm crying right now. It's funny. But yeah, I guess I did. It's crazy. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, your reviews make me really happy. So wow, this is a little funny. Anyway, I thank you for this beautiful review, Minxie. Oh my God, my makeup is getting, anyway. Yeah, I did not expect to cry. Okay, anyway, your reviews really mean a lot to me. So I really wanted to thank you for this beautiful review. And if my episodes ever helped you and you feel like you learned something, I would really appreciate if you leave a rating and review. It helps the show grow, and it helps me to stay motivated to keep on doing this, and it just really helps a lot. So if you can give me 2 minutes of your time, go to Apple Podcasts, scroll all the way down and click leave a review, and just tell me how you actually like the episodes, like what episodes stand out. And it just helps me create more content for you. And what really makes my day is when I see that when you tell me that you left a toxic relationship, when you told me, there's somebody the other day who told me that she asked for a raise because I inspired her in one of my latest podcast episodes. So I just want to help you guys really as much as I can. And if you can just do this tiny favor, click follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to your podcasts. Numbers are obviously really important in this world where, we're all... It just helps the show a lot. So I would really, really appreciate that. Okay. 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 Now let's hear from Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Welcome to Boujee Best Friend Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I came across your TikToks a long time ago. And yesterday when I was stalking you, as I just told you, because I like to do my due diligence before I interview someone. And I saw that I was liking your videos even probably a year ago. And I didn't even realize you were just popping up on my For You page. Yeah. So
it hasn't even been a full year. So I'm I've been kind of new to this whole TikTok thing, or I guess influencing and all of that.
Okay. So tell me everything. I want to know, first off, born and raised, where you're from, age, all the basics.
I'm actually from Brazil. A lot of people don't know that. I think a lot of my followers by now know that because I've talked about it in a couple videos, but I was born and raised in Brazil. Lived there until I was, I think, 15 or 14. And then me and my family, like me and my parents and my siblings, we all moved to Florida. And I moved to Florida when I was a freshman in high school. So it was around 2015, and did high school here. And then for college, I did college in New York City. I went to Syracuse University. So
what did you study?
I studied communications. And so I'm technically a lot more foreign than people know.
That is great. I had no idea.
A lot of people tell me that. I would have literally never guessed that you're like not American because I don't have an accent, I guess. When I used to live in Brazil, I used to go to a British school. So I was like technically brought up bilingual, like speaking both English and Portuguese, but I would only speak English in school. So as soon as I was done with school, I would leave and I would speak Portuguese like everywhere else. Here, it's the opposite. I would only speak Portuguese when I'm home, and I would speak English everywhere else. So yeah, born and raised Brazil.
Wow. I'm like blown away, because usually people, when they meet me, they feel that I'm foreign a little bit because of my accent, obviously still somewhere existent, but I had no idea. I love that.
A lot of people don't believe me. Like in college, when I first got to college, I have a tattoo that has the coordinates of my house in Brazil. And a lot of people didn't believe me.
Yo, look at this. At my house in Croatia.
Oh my God. That's literally what mine is. That's literally what mine is. It's my house in Brazil. It's my coordinates of my house in Brazil.
I'm blown away. Okay. First off, let me just tell you something. When I was like going through your social media and all that, there were so many similarities that you and I have. I mean, and we obviously, we never met before in person. So I'm like, that's just so weird. Even the evil eye, that you have those little cute slippers.
Yes, obsessed with that. I actually have an evil eye bracelet that I wear every time. Obsessed. And
I have a ring. Yeah. Okay. We were talking about you, born and raised in Brazil. You moved to Florida, but now you live in New York. So
now I live in New York City. Yes, now I live in New York City. After college, I had a dream of like living in New York City post grad. And that's exactly what I did. I live there now. And well, when I was a kid, I used to do these like YouTube videos that I never actually posted, but I would record them. And it would be, really cute. I never actually did anything with them, but I used to always love being in front of the camera. I used to post a lot of like hauls, like stuff like that. I guess things that girls would like to see on my like Snapchat private story. And my friends would always be like, you should actually post this like on a social media platform. I was like, okay. So I started doing that. And then I think by June, July, I was at like 15,000. It grew really fast. And then it kind of plateaued a little bit because I hadn't really, I thought I had to find a niche. So I always was kind of, indecisive in between like, oh, do I do like hair, makeup, fashion, all that? Or do I just do talking videos? Like, do I do trends? Like, it was really confusing. But then once I narrowed it down, that's when it like started to completely grow and like had like a really like exponential like growth rate. I think I'm at 99.8 thousand.
I saw you, I think yesterday or the other day you posted that you got like 50,000 overnight or something. I was like, wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. It was ever since the manifestation video.
Okay. So that is literally why we are here, because I love all of your videos, but manifesting is something that obviously a lot of people, it's becoming like a trend, I would say. But what I love about your advice, they're really direct, and they're like, you give actual step by step, like how to do this and how to do that. So can you, for our listeners, can you just tell us a little bit about, first of all, how did you even get into this? How do you understand so much about, visualizing? And
during quarantine of like 2020, like when COVID just hit and everyone was in quarantine, like, back then, I was bored like every single day because my days were so repetitive. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to like get a hobby or something. Like I should start doing something with myself. And TikTok was just starting to blow up, and I was seeing a lot of things about manifestation. So technically I was introduced to manifestation through TikTok. This is interesting. Like, what do you mean I can literally get whatever I want if I just put you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? And I grew up with my mom always telling me like the power of the mind, Laura, like she would always be like, don't think negatively, be super positive, because your mind has the power to like literally change your life. And I would always be like, okay, what? Like, okay, sure. Like typical mom just telling me to like be a positive little like shining star, I guess. I don't know. And then I started to realize maybe there's like actually something there. Maybe this is like actual, like there's like a whole thing about it. There's a whole field that people study about it. I'm going to do my own research. And I started doing a lot of just like Googling topics about manifestation, like what it actually is, how it works. I started getting really into books, and I'm not a big book reader. I actually hate reading because my ADHD is so bad. I cannot sit still and like go through a book. To me, that's really hard. But when it comes to manifestation, since it's something that I genuinely really enjoy and really like, it was easy for me to like read books on it. I don't know if you know who Joe Dispenza is. He was yeah. I got really into his books, which they're great for anybody starting. His advice is honestly really great for whoever's starting into manifestation. And I don't know if you've ever heard the movie The Secret.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm very deep into that. I'm like, I'm very into it. Yeah.
When I was 7, I saw my dad watching it, and I saw like little snippets of it, but like completely forgot about it. And then when I told my dad that I was getting into manifestation in 2020, he was like, why don't you watch the movie The Secret? I think you've seen me watch it once. Like, you should watch it again and actually pay attention to it this time and like really watch it for the purpose of learning. I think after watching that, that's when things really started. I feel like my brain was constantly thinking about all the information that I saw on the video and being like, oh my God. And like, I would live my day-to-day basis thinking about everything now, everything that I was saying, everything that I was doing, everything that I was thinking. I became almost like hyperly aware of my environment and my reality after watching that movie. And I always tell everyone, like, if you want to get into manifestation, start by watching The Secret, because it does a really great job at explaining it, especially to people who don't believe it.
So for those who are probably super new to manifestation, how would you describe it?
This is how I describe it, I think, to everyone. I always say, you know that everything is energy, right? Like a chair, like everything is like little vibrating particles of like atoms, right? That energy is literally everything. It has been proven that your thoughts are also energy because they emit a certain frequency, right? So if you can understand that your thoughts are also energy, you can understand that your thoughts have the power to affect your reality, because energy is not created or destroyed. It's just, right? Like, it just transforms. If anybody was to ask me like in a simple term, I would say your thoughts have the power to alter your reality in your 3D. That's basically what it is. It's all intention. It's all energy. So people who think it's super woo woo, or they think it's like, it has nothing to do with that. It's literally quantum physics. Like, I think that's where people fail to understand that it's like, it's the same type of physics that you learned in high school, just like a different way of applying it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. When I was younger, and I was always very, I would say, spiritual and into, I understood that the power of my mind really changes a lot. I mean, you can even, for those who might be still skeptical, you can just see that when you think about a lot of negative things, or if you're reading the news all day, every day, and you just are bombarded with all this negativity, obviously everything around you is just going to be negative because you're constantly surrounded with all of those negative thoughts. But if you 100%. Change that and you start actually paying attention of, even the people you talk to, the content you consume, it just changes so much. And I don't know, do you know this girl? I recently discovered her. Her name is Roxy something. I forgot her last name. No. But she recently wrote a book about manifesting. I literally ordered it last night because I'm very excited to read it. And it also explains literally step by step how easy actually is to manifest. So I'm excited to read that book. But I also wanted to ask you about your scripting method.
Yes. I think scripting was the first method that I actually tried and saw results, how I started to actually believe it. Because I understand for people who are skeptical, it's hard to actually put a lot of faith on something when it hasn't yet worked for you, when you haven't yet seen results from it. I think when I first started doing scripting, that's when I started seeing results. And that's when I was like, okay, like, this is real. There's many ways to script. I guess throughout the last 2 years, I've always tried to create my own little way, or something that worked for me, because this is something that a lot of people don't understand. There is not really a rule book for manifesting. Like, your intention and your energy behind what you're doing is a lot more important than what you're doing. So I was always trying to find ways or methods that really aligned with me and felt natural and easy to me. Because if I was doing something that felt forced or didn't feel natural or, you know, normal, I would have a harder time to believe in it. So
let me just compare this with something. You know, some people hate working out, but maybe they just did not find the right type of workout. Yeah.
Like some people like Pilates, some people like walking, some people like weightlifting. It's literally the same thing. So the way I came up with this method, I guess it was back when I learned the importance of writing things in past tense, the importance of writing something that you want to accomplish as if it's already accomplished. And I was like, how could I do something in a way where it would put this exact method into practice while still feeling true to me? And I thought of it and I was like, a memoir. Memoirs are literally a piece of work, the things that you've been through in your life, and I guess like your life story. If I write a little premature memoir of my upcoming year, if you think about it, that's technically a vision board, including the writing in past tense. This is really effective because not only is it putting into my brain the idea of, oh, this is your story, like this is how your life is supposed to go. While at the same time, when I'm writing it and reading it, I really channel this feeling from inside of me of I'm writing it as if it's already happened.
So can you give us a few examples?
Let's just say I really wanted to move to New York City, right? If I was to write that in my memoir, I would probably write something along the lines of, oh my God, 2022 was such an amazing year. I am so, so grateful that I was able to move to New York City, had an amazing, beautiful apartment. I am so, so grateful for it. I love it. It's beautiful. It's exactly the way I wanted it. And I had the best time and the best year living in it. That would be like an example of one of the things that I would mention and how I would mention it.
No, I love it. When I saw that video, I was like, this makes so much sense because with vision boards, I think a lot of people get this wrong, that vision boards are not just putting a bunch of, you know, cute pictures and watching it and hope for the best. It's not that. For me, manifesting is living life in a sense that like, okay, so we all have this version of us who we want to be. I have this ideal version of myself, and everything I do, I need to think, is this making me one step closer to that person or one step back? Yeah. So when it comes to hanging out with people and doing things that maybe you don't want to do, you have to think, is this going to benefit me? Is this going to make me, you know, sometimes let's say if you don't want to do something for work or whatever, but you know that specific thing is going to get you one step closer to achieving your goals. So I think that people need to understand that manifesting is not just putting a bunch of pictures and hoping for the best. So you have to actually work towards your goals. When you started like posting these videos and stuff, what did people say? I saw a bunch of those also on your TikTok. They were like, I think you posted that video, oh, nobody wants to hear about your glow up or something. And then you said like, there's
I guess I think this goes for a lot of people. Like when you start something new, when you start a social media platform or when you start TikTok, Instagram, whatever, once you take it once you make the active decision of taking it seriously, automatically, it's part of being a human being. You automatically are going to feel a little bit scared of what other people might say or think, or what other people are probably saying behind you. Like you're always worried about what the outer world is thinking of you because it's so new. You don't feel like you own it yet. You know what I mean? You don't feel that confident in it yet. I guess there was always this little voice in the back of my head of like, oh my God, what if people make fun of me? Or like, what if people say this? What if people say that? And I started to realize that regardless of what I was going to do, people were going to talk, right? It doesn't matter if I was doing this. It doesn't matter if I was doing something completely different. People talk naturally. So if I was to care about if people are talking about me, I would be a really unhappy person. My life, I would be living for others and I would be living for myself. So when I started, I guess I really made the decision to block these things out and really understand that it's my path, it's my journey. It really does not matter what anybody else thinks because I'm the one who's going to like reap the benefits of it in the future. So I don't really need to worry about if someone's talking about it now. Also, this is a fact. When you start something, people are going to talk, and when they see you succeed, they're still going to talk, but differently. You know what I mean? So
okay, yes. I actually want to talk to you a little bit about friendships. There was this video that you posted. She just wants to be you. Like it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job, babe. I think I'm going to ask you to send it to me. I'm going to repost it on my Boujee Bestie page.
I guess when I started to post TikToks, I would always hear through like other people like, oh my God, like they were talking about your TikTok, whatever. And I started to see like, who are the friends who actually are going to support me through it? Like, and who are the friends who are going to talk behind my back? But just in general, I think friendships, a lot of things that I talk about on my TikTok in terms of friendship is insecure friends. I'm a huge spokesperson for how insecure friends are the worst friends.
The worst.
The absolute worst friends. Mm-hmm. And it took me a while to understand that being insecure, and when I say being insecure, I don't mean like being insecure about, I don't know, your body, being insecure about your hair, like your nose, like genuinely a deep rooted insecurity. When someone is like deeply rooted insecure, they will cause problems without even realizing that they are causing problems. Mm-hmm. And especially when it comes to friendships, relationships too, it goes both ways. But especially when it comes to friendships, I've had a good amount of experience with insecure friends who I thought wanted the best for me. And over time, I would realize, okay, they're my friend. They're, you know, it probably benefits them in some way to be my friend because I consider myself to be a pretty good friend. But I know they don't want what's best for me. Like, I know that they are constantly competing with me. They're constantly trying to one up me. They're constantly trying to bring me down. And the interesting thing about insecure friends, it's never in your face. It's never like super obvious. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's very subtle. It's like, it's the small comments like here and there. It's the way they react to how you say when something good happened to you and how
that's the worst. That's the absolute worst. Yeah.
It's funny. Like they're always there for you when something negative happened, because then they're like, oh my God, like, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. But when something great happens to you and you're telling about it, they're like, yeah, that's so cool.
I honestly, as I started being more and more successful in, you know, whatever I'm doing, I'm so cautious with what I share to people. I have obviously good friends that I can share a lot, but I totally see when I don't know, like I recently got verified. And when I got verified, thank you. That was on my vision board for the past 3 years, pretty much. And I was like, some of these people that, you know, they know me for so long and they know how hard I work. Like I work 24/7 and they didn't even say congrats, but then they would, you know, check in if
they'll check in if they need something.
Yeah. If they need something, if they come to Miami and they want to hang or something. And I'm like, okay, I don't really need that, those type of people around me. When you like have a feeling that somebody around you might be either insecure or jealous, but maybe you guys have such a long history, you know each other for 15 years. How would you, because I have this thing, I'm not sure if you saw this on my Instagram. I have this thing called What Will Coco Do? And people ask me questions and I answer them and it's so much fun. And a lot of times I get these questions that it's like, I have this friend and I just want to get rid of her. I just don't know how. So what's your advice on that?
I actually there is someone in my life who I've been friends with for a really long time. And it took me, I think, about up until like a year and a half ago. Like it wasn't until like recently that I actually understood that she is a very insecure person, and it would only show in certain times and in certain situations where I would always think like, why is she like that with me? Like if she's like one of my best friends, like has known me for so long, like why does she get almost like defensive when something good happens to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like I can really like cut her out of my life. And don't get me wrong, I've always said this, you can literally cut anybody out of your life, anybody. You have that choice to literally cut anybody out of your life. But I don't feel like it is necessary for me to cut her out of my life. So all I did is I just distanced myself from her. And it doesn't have to be something that's like rude, or it doesn't have to be aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if they've really done you dirty, you know what I mean? By all means, do what you have to do. But it wasn't like that. It was more so I realized the friendship wasn't benefiting me, and not in the way of like, oh, I'm not getting anything from it. It's like, it wasn't doing me good. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was
I 100% agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So I just distanced myself, and it doesn't mean I was rude. I was very like still nice, but I wasn't hanging out with them all the time. I wasn't being around them all the time. And the same reason why you said it's not good to be around friends that aren't good for you. Like it's good to be aware of like who you're friends with and who you said you don't share a lot of things with people because of that exact reason. This is literally something that I'm actually going to make a video about because I saw someone post about it a while ago. I forget her name, but I have it saved. But it's like why you don't tell your goals or your manifestations to anybody until it's done.
I feel like when you're creating your vision boards and your goals and dreams, you're not going to be super honest with yourself if the whole world can see them. Because, you know, you might be scared people are going to make fun of it and stuff. And I remember when I was back in Croatia, when I told people I'm going to move to the US, they're like, okay, Coco, like relax. Like you're never going to do that. Just like chill, be grateful for what you have. I mean, I am always grateful for what I have, but I always wanted to, you know, do more. I always tell people also, like, you don't have to have the talk. Like you don't have to tell your friend, listen, you're just not good for me anymore. So I don't want to have you in my life. How can they distance themselves from a friend? Let's say that friend constantly is reaching out and then that friend actually asks, okay, so what's going on? Why you're not hanging out with me? Yeah.
Okay. So I would say I'm a really big advocate for if the problem is not communicated, the problem does not exist. The reason being, you can't expect someone to read your mind. You can't expect someone to guess that there's something wrong if you don't communicate it with them. Right. So if there is an issue with a friend that you think is not good for you and you want to distance yourself from her, I think you are allowed to distance yourself without giving you don't have to be like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be distancing myself from you. If you do that, she might feel obligated to ask why. If you don't do that, you'll actually end up seeing the true colors of like, does she actually care that I'm distancing myself from her, or is she not even going to notice? If she doesn't, then you probably did you probably made the right choice to distance yourself. But if she comes up and asks about it and goes, oh my God, like I've noticed you don't like talk to me as often, like, is there something going on? I would say something along the lines of, okay, so recently these things have been bothering me and I just don't think it's like good for me to be around people who treat me like this. If this is something that you don't understand, I would kindly appreciate it if you just like respected the fact that like I need a little bit of space. And if she wants to fix it, I think everybody deserves a second chance. I think you can give them the opportunity to fix it. And if they don't, then after that, after that, you don't really need to do anything about it. I would communicate. I would be honest with them though. I wouldn't be like, no, everything's fine. And then continue to like, you know,
distance yourself.
Yeah, I would say, because I think if the friend does want an opportunity to change, she might not even know. You know what I mean? So if she wants an opportunity to change, they deserve that right.
Why do you think that people are maintaining these toxic friendships in their lives?
I think because a lot of them don't know that it's toxic. Or I think or if they do, and if they still maintain it, it's probably because they don't feel secure in themselves to be able to have control over who they spend time with. Like, I feel like they don't feel confident enough that they can say, okay, I'm done. You know, maybe they're scared of what the person's going to say or how the person's going to react. Maybe they're like avoidant in that sense.
I feel like you're very secure and confident. Were you always like this?
No, I wasn't.
Tell me about that. Okay, yes, I want to talk about your Glow Up series. I want to hear all about that. Before you say that,
I actually want to give an example of what you mentioned before about like someone distancing herself from you and not telling you. So I actually had this friend that I was really close with for like a good year and a half. And I was texting her. We were living in separate places because they graduated and I hadn't graduated yet. And she just started to like ghost me completely, like would not respond to my, like literally for, I think, a good week. And it was out of nowhere too, because right before that she was commenting on my Instagram. Like it was so random. And she was someone that I was pretty close with at the time. But she just literally completely like cut contact with me. And I started asking her friends, like, is everything okay? Like, she hasn't been responding to my texts, my calls, whatever. And I was pretty close to her. So I didn't feel weird blowing up her phone or anything. You know what I mean? I would just be like, hello, like, what's going on? And they just send me back a text after like a week and a half of like just ghosting me and saying, hey, listen, I'm in a new phase of my life. I'm trying to cut out negative people. And I just don't trust your intentions with our friendship. Wish you all the best.
That's what she said. That's what she told you. Okay.
Yeah. So immediately I said, okay, I understand. I wish you all the best as well, in a heart. And that is where our friendship ended. I'm pretty sure I'm blocked on literally everything. I have no idea what I did. I have no idea what happened. All I know is that she no longer trusted me for some reason. I had never done anything to her. And the reason I did not question it or ask, oh my God, like what's wrong or anything, is because she was very, very confident in the fact that like I I have bad intentions for our friendship. Somebody who sees me as that and doesn't realize how positive I actually am and how much I'm trying to like build, you know what I mean? How I'm trying to bring to the table with our friendship. If someone sees me as having bad intentions for a friendship, I don't want that friendship anymore. Exactly. I don't care to go back and be like, no, let's fix it. Like if you think I'm a negative person in your life, if you think I have negative intention for our friendships, no worries. I respect that. Now I no longer want this friendship. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it makes sense. And I wish her all the best. I have no problem with her. Like wish her all the best. I have no idea what I did. However, later on, a couple of like months later, I realized she was actually doing an idea that I told her. I had an idea about something that I wanted to do. And she completely copied it. So
wow.
Realized that was actually why.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah, realized that was actually why she didn't want to be friends with me anymore. She just didn't want me to see her do exactly what I told her I wanted to do. But that's why.
Wow. Are you guys still in touch at all? You said no. You said you're blocked everywhere.
I'm blocked on everything, and I have nothing against her. I literally wish her all the best. I just that's just not something I, wouldn't put my energy towards. Like I forgive her. I don't even think she knows that I know, but like I don't care to even, invest energy in it.
When people don't see you for who you really are, you don't really need them in your life. If they see you as this negative, whatever this girl said that you were, you don't need them in your life. And I think that a lot of people are keeping some friendships in their lives because maybe loyalty, they know each other for so long, but it's very natural to kind of just like separate. But actually, we didn't talk about your confidence and your, that's what you said, that you were not always this confident and insecure.
No, I used to be really, really insecure, like very insecure. I used to hate myself. I used to think I was like the ugliest person. I was so insecure, and not like deeply rooted insecurities, because I'm very grateful for the way I was brought up in my household. My mom and my dad would always lift me up and would always tell me like, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are special. I'm really grateful to say that I have probably no childhood trauma. I have nothing in my childhood that gave me any like deep rooted insecurities, but I was really, really severely bullied in middle school.
Wow.
So that gave me a lot of insecurities, even though I wasn't an insecure child. It gave me insecurities that I never thought I would have because of the bullying. And I think it was up to 2020. It was right until 2020 when I had a lot of time to like learn about manifestation and reflect on my life. And I wanted to make a change because I was really unhappy with the type of person that I was, not just in like the way that I was as a person, but more so in the way that I looked. I cared a lot about what other people think of me. I cared so much. It would really, really affect me. And I was sick of it. I was like, I want to live my life just doing me, like being me, and not worried about if someone's talking about me or whatever they have to say about me. Like, I don't want to care. And I think also by being bullied, I guess as a result of that, developed like thicker skin. I was able to develop like a trust in myself and a security in myself after a lot of shadow work, like a lot of journaling, a lot of shadow work, where at this point, literally nothing bothers me. Nothing anybody could possibly say to me could possibly affect me.
So how did you give us some tangible steps that somebody can take if they are so insecure, they don't like their life, they don't like where they're going, maybe they don't like their relationship, their friendships. If you see that you're unhappy, but you just don't know, what is that first step that you can take to kind of just change your reality?
Okay, so this is also even probably the first steps that I took that actually got me to change physically, because I had a huge glow up like physically, but it started with a mental shift, with a mindset shift. And I would say like the number one step is you need to understand that not everybody's going to like you. And not only do you need to understand, you need to be okay with that. I was never someone, I wanted to be liked by everyone. Like I wanted everybody to love me and like me. And if someone didn't think of me the way I wanted them to think of me, and I would always be so insecure if someone said something about me behind my back, but I got to a point where I had to accept not everybody's going to like me. And I even have video and I'm like, not everybody has good taste. Like not everybody's going to like me. I don't even like anyone. Yeah. Why the hell am I expecting everyone to like me? Like we don't even like everyone. Why do we care if everyone likes that? You know what I mean? Yeah. And another thing that I had to understand to come to like a mindset of, I don't care if anybody says anything about me, or I guess just being very unbothered and unfazed, was understanding that people's perception of you is simply a reflection of themselves. And the way someone treats you is a reflection of themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone hates you for no reason, this would happen a lot. A lot of people will have things against me without even knowing me.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think when let's say you're scrolling through your phone and you see a video of someone and it really pisses you off and you want to say something, you need to understand, where is that coming from? There's something in that video that triggers you, some kind of trauma. Right. Something in that video is making you so angry that you have to, I mean, I have a lot of trolls. I'm sure you have a lot of trolls too. That's the nature of TikTok. I mean, social media in general. Yeah. But I always think like, why? And I always know that, we are all going through our own phases of maturity, of insecurities. Like it's very interesting when, when I get comments, I don't even know how to explain this. It's like people get so nasty and they say such mean things. If you're listening to this and maybe you are bullied online or something, you have to know that this has nothing to do with you. People are just, maybe sometimes they just ask for attention.
It's everything to do with them. Some people literally are just so unhappy with themselves that their mission is to just make everybody else as unhappy as them.
Mm-hmm.
Just notice how when someone is genuinely happy and I guess satisfied with who they are in their life, they don't really care to make anybody else feel like shit. You know what I mean? Someone who's genuinely happy and secure in who they are, they don't go around on the internet like shitting on other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're worried about themselves. They're not worried. This is something I always say, like people who are so obsessed with you or like make it a thing to not like you, like make it a point to like get people to not like you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Someone who like has it out for you for no reason. That person literally is probably so unhappy with themselves that they feel the need to put other people down to make them feel better about who they are.
Yeah.
It's everything to do with them.
So you mentioned that you changed your mindset.
Yes.
How did you change your mindset? Did anything happen specifically that you were like, okay, this is not how I want to live anymore. I just want to, change my reality in some way?
I think it was more so of like, I got to a point, well, like I said, during quarantine, like my days were so repetitive. It was a lot of alone time, right? It was a lot of time to like ponder and think about like who I was in my life and if I was happy with it. And I really wasn't. I wanted to shift. Like I completely rebranded myself completely. So I think it was a mindset shift in terms of like, I wanted to recreate Laura. I wanted to completely rebrand Laura. I wanted to be the Laura that I have always wanted to be. Right? Like the Laura that the 13-year-old me would probably look and be like, oh my God. Like, like I'm the best, like I wanted to make that version of me that I was so unhappy proud. It was just in my head. I was so unhappy with who I was. And I was like, I need to make a change. Like, I want to wake up every day and be happy with who I am. I want to be confident. Like, I want to be secure in who I am. I don't want to care about what other people think anymore. It was exhausting. Like I said, like it's a full-time job, like for people who are unhappy, like it's a full-time job. It's awful. And so I had a lot of like shadow work to do, a lot of just journaling. And it was a mindset shift because I had to completely unlearn things that I was thought to learn through like bullying, like about myself, like you're so this, you're so that. I had to unlearn the things that were making me unhappy. And I had to completely teach myself new habits and new ways of living that reflected the version of me that I wanted to be. And this is something that I always say about manifestation, like rebranding yourself is actually so goddamn easy. All I did to shift my mindset or to become the person that I wanted to become was I literally would close my eyes and think to myself, what do I want to be? Like, who do I want to be? Who is this person that I want to transform into? What does she look like? How does she talk? What is her personality like? What are her likes? What are her dislikes? How does she talk? How does she walk? How does she dress? And I basically got a very clear vision of that. And I understood that in order to be that, I had to show up as her every day. Because all you have to do, if there's a version of you that you're trying to become or transform into, all you have to do is step into that person's shoe, that version of you every single day. Because that is how our bad habits form. And that's how our good habits form. It takes practice and repetition.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean? That's how you form bad habits.
The same way how, like, I don't know, if someone was to say like, oh my God, like I can't change. You can. You probably just haven't tried hard enough. Because trust me, once you get to a point that you are so done with how things are, when you get to a point where you're like, I cannot tolerate this anymore, something needs to change, you will change. You will change. And when I say bad habits form after, like the way you form a good habit is the same way that you learned your bad habit. The characteristics of you that you don't like, or the things about you that you want to change, were probably formed over repetition. You just don't realize it.
I just want to add something here. When, let's say if you do have a bad habit that you want to change, you have to be mindful of the fact that like you had this bad habit for, let's say, your whole life or whatever, a couple of years. And when you're trying to change this habit, don't be so hard on yourself when you are, you didn't change in a week or in a month. Like it takes time to actually change who you are. And
100%.
I just want to make sure that our listeners are aware that change is very possible, but it's not overnight.
It's very simple, but it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes adjusting. The actual concept of change is simple. Like the way to get there is simple, but it takes time. That's all it is. And when it comes to like insecurities, like I said, I was super insecure. Those insecurities were created like some way.
Yeah.
Right?
They're created by the outside world somehow. Either, somebody told you that you look a certain way, or the society is making you feel insecure.
It's all up in your head. So it's like the thoughts that you are constantly replaying in your head of like, I'm so this, like, I'm so ugly. I'm so, I don't know, my life sucks. Like if you're constantly repeating those thoughts in your head, that is how you are going to start accepting these negative things. You are going to actually like identify these thoughts with who you are. So to change that and do the opposite is you have to change your thinking. You have to think as if you already were that version of yourself. So if you were, say, this like confident, secure version of you that you're trying to be, would she think every single day, oh, I'm so ugly, I'm so unhappy with my life? No. She would probably think, I'm so secure, I'm so confident, right? So you have to like introduce those new thoughts into your head and repeat them. And
I always tell my followers that negative self-talk is not allowed, because when you start telling yourself that you are, all these negative things, you're going to start believing it. And as we were talking in the beginning, the power of your mind is so, powerful. I guess that's what I wanted to say.
Absolutely.
So tell me about vision boards. Do you do vision boards, or tell me like your process?
I have actually never done like a picture vision board. I would say the closest thing that I've done to that is, I don't know, if there's something that I really wanted, I would make it my phone background. But the reason to me, I feel like it's not as effective as, I don't know, like the scripting method is because if I'm looking at a picture, I find it really hard to look at it and like induce like a feeling. Like I find it really hard to like connect with it, because to me, it's just a picture. So the reason, let's put it this way. The way I do my vision boards with like images is visualization. So like I'll visualize me living the best life or the life that I want, but in my head. I've closed I'm a very visual person, so I can close my eyes and like picture whatever I want, right? Some people are like that. I've recently discovered that a lot of people can't even like picture something in their brain. But so I guess
I can sometimes picture something so vividly that I start crying.
Yeah, same. Oh my God, same, 100%. So this is the thing. That is why I prefer to use like my visualization to, I guess, create a mental vision board and really like visualize the life that I want, because that is so much easier for me to induce feelings. Just like you just said, like you can picture something and you'll cry, right? Your body doesn't know if it's going through something like physically or if you're just thinking it. So like, for example, if you think of something really negative that happened to you and you start genuinely feeling the emotion again, your body doesn't know the difference between you just thinking about it and you actually being in that situation again.
Yeah.
Like your brain doesn't know the difference. So you will experience the exact same feelings as if you were actually living that life, which is why to me that comes so much faster.
What are your goals for next year? You don't have to share all of them because, as we mentioned, we don't share them with the world. But
I'm definitely not going to. A lot of people were actually asking me in the comments of my manifestation videos, without even like giving out like a specific goal. I would say like a goal for myself is to make myself proud. I'm constantly, I guess, like throughout my life, I've always wanted to make people proud, and like I've always wanted to like, I don't know, I enjoy seeing, I'm a words of affirmation person. So I like to hear somebody coming up to me and being like, I'm proud of you. But recently I even posted a video about it saying that recently it's like, I discovered that the importance of giving yourself your own love language is so much more important. So I've been practicing like telling myself that I'm proud of myself. Like, I'm proud of you, like literally looking in the mirror. So I would say that's my main goal for next year, is making myself proud.
I love that. A lot of people don't, when you just mentioned mirror, a lot of people feel very weird looking at themselves in the mirror and doing these positive affirmations. Is that something you do or you don't?
No, I actually love looking at myself in the mirror.
And
not from like a vain standpoint, not from like a, oh my God, like, I mean, I mean, you're
so hot. So like
I love my reflection. Like, I think I'm like a pretty girl, but like, that's not where it's coming from. Yeah. It's like, I feel like when I look at myself, because it's really interesting. Like, I always tell my friends, like, I wish I could see me from like the way other people see me. Like, I wish I could have like a Madame Tussauds made of me, and I could just see it as like a 3D version of me, because you're never going to see yourself like that. So I think the mirror is the closest thing that I have to connecting to myself. Like, it's the closest thing that I have to speaking to myself, right? Imagine as if like I was speaking to like someone else. I'm really comfortable in front of the mirror because I've always spoken to myself looking in the mirror. Like when I was a couple of years ago, when I was going through like a rough patch in my life with like my relationship and stuff, I would always, and this was nonstop, every single time I had like a really good thought or a really good like feeling of like advice to give to myself, I would record a video, like a literal video, like, I don't know, a Snapchat video of myself talking to myself, like giving myself advice, being like, next time you're sad, like, I want you to hear this, whatever. And every single time I would be sad, I would watch it and I would feel like I was like FaceTiming myself. Do you know what I mean?
I have a to-do list for our listeners. Record a video of yourself when you are feeling the best, when you're in a great mood, and then play that video. Let's create a little script. What would you say in that video?
Like, if I was struggling with like insecurities or something, or like, I don't know, if I was struggling with like being happy, I would probably make a video when I feel my best, when I'm the happiest. And I would be like, watch this video next time you feel like life isn't worth it, or next time you feel like you don't have a good life. You do because you're watching me enjoy it right now. You just might not be feeling that at the moment that you're watching this, but there are times where you are going to feel good about your life and yourself. So just that gives you something to keep going. Because it's hard.
I love this.
It's hard when you feel like crap and you're like, have no motivation. And I always say this because I think there's multiple studies that's shown that like listening to affirmations in other people's voices is not as effective as listening to affirmations in your own, which is why I do all my meditations. I create my own meditations. Like, I have them all on my phone. I create my affirmations. I make everything and I listen to myself when I'm listening to headphones. I listen to my own affirmations with myself speaking them, because it goes into your brain so much faster than if you're listening to someone else speak them.
I didn't know that. I love that.
Yeah. So watching yourself, like a video of yourself talking to yourself, will enter in your brain, like will literally penetrate your brain a lot more efficiently than if you're listening to someone else giving you that advice.
Laura, this was wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this. I love this.
Are you going to start a podcast? I would love that for you.
I have plans on starting it in the new year. So
when you start, if you have any questions, let me know, because it's a very difficult task to do all on your own if you don't know anything about it. It's totally different from, creating videos on TikTok, Instagram. It's just such a different animal. So honestly, let me know, because I remember how much I struggled in the beginning with all of that.
I guarantee you I will be reaching out.
Do you have any last words or tips and tricks how to kind of step into your power and be more confident and manifest the life that you want?
I would say, I guess this is probably the most like general advice, but probably the one that people don't realize as often. Like, people don't realize how like important it is to understand this that I'm going to say. And it's that whatever it is that you want, whoever it is that you want to be, you already have her inside of you. Like, you already have that version of you living inside of you. You already have the things that you want to have. You need to accept the fact that like it's very, very capable for you to become or do whatever you want to do. You just have to understand that you have to align yourself with it. Right. And that's literally it. It's all alignment. Like, you already have all those things. It's already yours. Believe it that it's already yours, and the universe will deliver.
I mean, I remember there's a quote or something that says you wouldn't dream it if you couldn't achieve it, or something like that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Every idea, everything that was ever created started with a thought, right? started as like something in visualization of it in your head. Everything that was ever created started in here. So
yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Please tell everybody where they can follow you.
Okay. So my @ on TikTok is just Laura Galebe, and it's the same exact thing for Instagram. So.
Is that a Portuguese last name or no?
No, it's actually Lebanese.
Interesting. Oh,
Yes.
you're so, yeah. I actually, are you coming down to Miami anytime soon?
Probably. Yes, probably. I actually am tomorrow. But
okay.
Yeah.
Let me know if you're going to have, maybe not tomorrow, but let me know if you're going to be coming, and then we can go get something.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll give you my number. We'll exchange contacts and we'll make it official.
Okay. Everybody, please go follow Laura on TikTok. I'm obsessed with your videos. Why don't you post more of them on Instagram?
That's actually something I have a plan. I plan on doing. I plan on doing that.
Okay,
I just
good.
don't know like how to like go about it. Like I'm not very well versed. Maybe I'll ask you for like advice on something, because I've seen you post all of your TikToks on your Instagram. Yeah. I just don't know like how often to post. Like if I also use hashtags, like I'm not very, I guess, well versed in that area, but you will help me out.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think that was it. I think that's it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.